So was your take pretty similar to many in the Notre Dame community about Tommy Rees being a offensive coordinator?
Mark, it is the most Notre Dame situation. All right. You got Tommy Rees, the hometown boy, as a player, as a coach. There has never been any offense he's been involved in at Notre Dame as a player or a coach that was any good at all, that moved the needle at all. Never. Now, recruiting, a lot of the families love him. He's good in that living room. A lot of the players like him. He did really good recruiting with quarterbacks once Kelly left. He started doing really good with quarterback recruiting, building those relationships. However, the actual offenses at Notre Dame, they were never any good at all nationally that you could like compete in a playoff game with him. But then Notre Dame's layer on layer on layer, Mark. So then you go down the rabbit hole of, all right, well, we haven't really had the best offensive talent. Was that Brian Kelly and the way he did things at Notre Dame? Like, was it fair to judge Rees because he didn't have the best talent and all that? So then you didn't know how much of the offensive inefficiency was actually him and developing these guys versus the talent there. So now we end up in a position where Hartman came in, and then you were like, now we're going to see Tommy work with a big arm quarterback that could make more throws than what we're used to at Notre Dame. This will be exciting. And then Rees leaves, and it's like, well, Nick Saban wants him. He's a genius. He's the boy wonder. Saban wants him. He's got to be great. And I'm saying, where's any results that show that at Notre Dame ever? They don't exist. They don't exist. So his dad's well thought of. Everybody says he's a boy wonder, a head coach in the making and all that. And our offenses are like 43rd in the country, nothing to write home about always. So Notre Dame fans are in the middle on this. Half of them say, see you later, Tommy. We need new eyes. Get away from the Notre Dameness. It'll be good for him. It'll be good for us. And then other people are going, he's about to explode and we missed it. Now Saban gets it. I've been around Tommy Rees for a long time as a player and a coach. I've never seen any creativity that blew my mind or looked innovative. We didn't have great talent. That's a part of it, but it's split down the middle, Mark. Hometown boy, a lot of people love him, never want him to leave for that. And other people are going, Saban can want him all he wants. Maybe he'll be great with there, have 5 stars everywhere. But here, our offenses were yawn fests forever.
I don't think there's any question that you can size up either side of the debate and make a reasonable argument for either one. And I have, and you have, and there it is. And we will see what he does at Alabama. And regardless of whether now, if he fails by Alabama standards, then we've got our answer.
Here's what I don't like. What I don't like is I could see this coming a mile away, Mark. We're going to score a whole boatload of points at Alabama. And then I'm going to hear, see, this one more year, and this is what you would have got, acting as though Notre Dame and Alabama's rosters are equal, and he's going to have 5-star talent to draw up whatever he wants and know it's going to work. Like, that's the argument I'm not open to, and I'm going to get it. If he takes off at Alabama, I'm going to have to, that's what people are going to say, and I'm going to go, you give me that talent, and I would have loved to see it at Notre Dame, but it isn't apples and apples because of that talent difference, even if it takes off. Most interestingly, Mark, I've never had interest in an SEC game before like I do Tommy Rees's Crimson Tide against Brian Kelly and LSU. Now, that is the most Notre Dame SEC game ever, and I am supremely intrigued by that matchup. By the way, I'm all Alabama on that one. Roll Tide, baby.
Okay. I'm not surprised by that. I will say it this way. For my own personal perspective, unless there's other factors that come into the equation, for me, if Tommy Rees goes to Alabama and Alabama fails on offense by Alabama standards, then it's a slam dunk. Okay, Tommy Rees is not all that. That's pretty obvious because anybody steps into that role and succeeds. But if he steps into that role and Alabama takes off and does Alabama things, then I'm with you. I can't make the conclusion. I'm like, well, either Saban did see something here and he is better than advertised and better than what he performed at Notre Dame, Or maybe he's just drawing up anything he wants, and the
Yeah.
players are making guys miss in the open field, and they're doing the job.
And you know what, Mark? Being very genuine about this, I mean this. Notre Dame people love Notre Dame people. Like you're in the family, like you're in the family kind of thing, except for Kelly. But everybody else, you're pretty much still in the family. There is a legitimate human argument I could make that at some point, when you've been all Notre Dame since 17 years old, he left for a year or two, 1 year in the NFL as an assistant and one more as a GA somewhere right out of school. And I could make the argument, though, it might be better for everybody to separate a little bit. And then he's not shackled by the shadow of the dome and all the extra expectations placed on him because of that history we have with him. He grew up in our eyes as a recruit and a player for the team that ended up making the championship in 2012 and getting killed. But we grew up with him. He grew up with us. I make a real argument. It might be healthier for clean slate. Get out of the Notre Dame shadow. It'll free him up, spread his wings, see a different way to do things. And I think that'll be good for him. And then from the Notre Dame end, Rees was like one of the last big chunks of Kelly-ness left in that program. And you could make an argument. It might have actually been healthier to have this split Marcus's first year and make it right then the line of Kelly and Marcus. Here we go. And you're a big piece of that. Go do your thing. That's an argument I've been thinking about is, would it have been cleaner to just do that right away rather than wait a year? But the leadership wanted Rees around just because he's a longtime guy, and they were cool with Marcus being the head guy, but they liked having their boy there to kind of see things. There's a little vibe there that kicked up. Kind of coach 1 and coach 1B, Rees felt like he was. And there was a little something there, in my opinion. I just think, like with Kelly, everything's has an expiration date, and it was just time. Rees is a divider, man. I'm looking at 50-50 on my call-in shows. Is this good or bad? Is he a genius or not? Like, it's 50-50. And so it's going to be very interesting. But I think it'll do him good to get out of the shadow of the dome. I mean that.